And now I will try to talk a little bit about what's this data-driven decision making. What does it mean for company that from this data get some insights, and then on this insight it can make a decision? So I will start with stages of decision. I think that students of management are much more better educated about this that I'm talking about. So I apologize because I'm going this decision making cover really simplified. So here I expect that maybe you can share me some new insights what you have learned about decision making in management. But actually, how I'm teaching my students, why is this important? Because they are much more about technology, but I insist that they understand that this technology is not of any use if it's not used by the business. Business needs to do a lot of decision making, and if we want to talk about data driven decision making, then we need to collect a lot of information about the problem. First, we need to understand the problem. Then we need to analyze the possibilities of solution. And then we need to evaluate this possible solution against different criteria to assess this criteria whether one solution is better over the other, and then we need to choose the optimal solution. Sometimes it's not the best solution, sometimes is the least worst solution. And in computer science, this is one really old management book, framework for development of decision support in enterprises. And it's rather old, but I like it because it has all these phases, and phases are actually something that Herbert Simon has. Herbert Simon was a professor of computer science at Stanford, and that was the only Nobel Prize awarded to computer science, but it's a Nobel Prize in economy. And actually, he described and defined these phases of decision making: intelligence, design, choice, and implementation. And here is a listing of different IT tools that can support each of these phases. And this is the old fashioned or traditional actually view of the informatization of decision making in companies. Now we are on the completely different management stack, and usually in management or business books they are listing something like this because this is from one of probably the most popular IT books that is used in business. And now I will skip and go to the value added chain model, which was, I think, another Nobel Prize in economy, Michael Porter. And then I will show you one really old visualization of this business process or business chain model. Are you familiar with Porter value added chain model? Huh,
No.
guys? Huh?
No.
Too old or too outdated? Jacob, what about you?
I don't think so.
Okay, then
What
maybe
was the exactly name of the
uh,
model?
Michael Porter value added chain model.
I mean, I know the name of him, yeah.
Okay, I will explain it now. So I assume that you know this, but this is how I'm starting. Actually, what you see in the bottom is the process model of the business. First, this is the some production business. So we have the incoming logistic into the manufacturing, then we have the manufacturing, then we have the outgoing logistic and maybe some stores. Then we need to sell our products that we manufactured. We also need to do some marketing that we increase the sales, and we need to do the servicing of the items that we have produced, which means that we need to assure some service to our buyers. And this is the core business, core part of the manufacturing model, but this process model can be applied to every business, but originally it was applied to manufacturing business. And then you have some additional or overhead activities like acquisition of material for the manufacturing, research and development, human resource management, management and infrastructure, meaning also cleaning and things like that. And this process is done that we would like to keep the costs of this project as low as possible and to sell with the prices as high as possible, because we want to have the highest profit that is possible. And this is actually explaining the process model of each and every business. Cutting the costs, doing the process optimally, and trying at the end of the day to earn as much money as possible. And this is really old illustration. And now it comes the upper part. First, these thermometers here are not by accident, because if we look in this blue part, we actually would like to have some measurement system of how our process is doing, and we are doing that with the measuring with data. Actually, we are collecting data about logistic, about manufacturing, about marketing and sales, about financial data, how profit we are. And with this data, we are actually constructing the analytical system that is capturing the pulse of our organization. How good are we doing? And this is the most, it's really old. That was from master thesis in 98, but this is the philosophy of how we are implementing analytics, data analytics over the business process. I hope that this is clear. Okay. If you
Yes, clear.
Okay, finally some common ground. Anya.
I am a
Okay.
different Tanya, but yes.
Okay. Anya's, thank you both. Um, and next step is companies actually doing some strategical planning, right? And this strategical planning should actually be decomposed into key factors for measuring the success of this strategy. And usually, these factors can be influenced by the new technologies and better access to information, how much environment is changing, and so on and so forth. And I actually like this one. I think there are many possible strategical planning models, but I like this one, balanced scorecard model. Have you heard of this one?
Yes.
Okay, again, uh, how much am I outdated with this? Are there are there better or newer model that I should consider?
We still study this exact model.
Okay,
Like,
that's good news for me
yeah.
because I discovered that when I was doing my master thesis in 96 and 97, and if you are still using it, then it's okay. That was, but I really like this model because it's, let's say, it's structured, it's technological, and it's really well connected to the this data decision making that I'm trying to teach you here. So balance scorecard, I will go really quick. Balance scorecard can be measured by the key performance indicators. And key performance indicators usually are measuring customer satisfaction, quality of our products, cost, employee satisfaction, and so on. And each and every of these measures can be measured with some data that is collected in our information system. That's crucial. Actually, when I'm showing you this picture, this measuring instrument is measuring the data to produce KPIs for monitoring the whole pulse of the organization. Is that clear now? Oh, here I have in Croatian, and apologize. Here are customers, finances, learning and development, internal processes, and in the middle is strategy. I have it here translated. And if we want to capture the whole pulse of the organization, if we really want to have the big picture or some piloting board of this organization, we need to capture KPIs across all of these dimensions, which means that customers should be addressed in all parts of our we should collect information about customers through the whole processes that are driven in our organization, not only in one point. It's not we can talk what is the definition of customer, but it's not only a customer who is buying, maybe how our customers are seeing us, how our customers are writing about our products or services on online media, how much complaints do our customers have, who are our prospective customers which have not bought yet any of our goods or products, and so on. You see where I'm going? I'm going toward the integral perspective of the customer, integral perspective on the finances, integral processing uh, of our internal processes, and so on. And this all can be actually enabled by data. So here is in blue, actually key performance indicators are measured by the data that is captured in dimensional model, and dimensional model is data model that is used in data warehouses. Just a moment, second. I apologize. So our strategic outcomes are related to shareholders, customer, efficient and effective processes, and our internal force. And if we see it, some of this perspective can be measured by different measures. Let's say, in the customer perspective, we would like to understand how much customers are retention, meaning that customers are returning. The opposite of this is customer churn, where we can see if customers are leaving our services or buying our goods to the competitors. And one of the indicators can be either gathering data on social media on their behavior or some survey. Customers, how they are segmented in segments, and how much do we understand our relation with our customers, and so on and so forth. Are you here with me now? Now I'm talking your language, probably.
Yes, we are here.
Okay. Uh, and what I would like to do in this course is to teach you enough information technology and principles to do, let's say, monitoring, balance scorecard monitoring of key performance indicator automatically with data collection. And once again, some of the indicators here are our internal, but some of indicators are external. We don't have this data collected, but some of this data is present on social media and so on. So satisfaction survey we can take, or we can actually collect all the comments regarding our products and services on social media and monitor the customer satisfaction by the sentiment polarity about what they are commenting about our products. When I talk about sentiment, do you understand what that means? That means that usually we are collecting their comments, and we want to understand if this comment is positive, negative, or neutral. And even more in sentiment, we want to know about which aspect of our product or our service are they talking about, and is that positive or negative. I will go through these techniques later, but with all these IT technologies that I'm going to cover, I would like to do this general monitoring of my business automatically, with all automatically collected and processed data. And this can make then one integral picture of where our business is heading. Why? When I monitor all the inputs, processes, and outputs, I'm actually, this used to be animated, but now I'm not showing in mode. So here is the representation of one system. You probably know this picture. This is the system and its environment, which is generating for cybernetical principles that were posed in 50s and 60s. So here we have the business, and we have the environment of this business, and business environment are customer, government, competitors, bank, stockholders, vendors, weather condition, ecological condition, and so on. And company is doing this environment, and from this environment they're taking some inputs like raw materials, cost on the market, resources. Then they are performing the internal processes with programs, procedures, tools, and so on, because they want to produce some outputs, which can be products or services. And then these products and services are sold to their environment. And this whole process is driven by the decision maker, which means some manager. And this manager needs to monitor in system like this behavior of this whole system, that he can or she can very promptly make decisions where this business needs to go and what this business needs to do in general. And these decisions are actually closing the feedback loop, which meaning today I'm seeing decrease in sales, and I'm making decision that tomorrow we will push something to be better or massively sale. And then with this decision I'm monitoring tomorrow how this sale is going on, and taking another decision to see how much we can push this sale or return to this sale baseline that we want to have. And this with this decision and monitoring of the system, actually manager is closing this feedback or cybernetic loop of managing the system. Is this theory familiar to you? Or am I talking about two old concepts in management?
It's not familiar until now, for me at least.
Okay.
No.
But
Yeah.
why I'm talking this? Because I want that this decision maker, which is manager, has in real time all the data about behavior of all parts of his systems, that he can make these good decisions for the business, or maybe automatic decision regarding some points, which means that we will use automatic decision making in some tools or softwares. Is this as a concept, does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Okay. And this is one old visualization, because with these BI reports and dashboards, we are actually trying to develop monitor of the functioning of the whole system. And here I intentionally took this like visualization like airplane dashboard, where we can see the most important parts of the business: profit margin, revenue per employee, some sales statistics and things like that. And from this high level view we can go into details about profit, about revenue, about costs, and so on and so forth. And we are trying, and this is this level 2 or toward level 3 automatization of internal processes. Uh, Software like this is usually called business intelligence, and I would like to teach you more advanced analytical part, level 3 and level 4, which is predictive and using artificial intelligence for the same thing. So now when we understand what is data-driven decision making, we are going, and here I have a really nice dashboard visualization. Thank you, Dali, for this visualization. And you can see management board is actually looking into the data with lot of visualization, graphs, and so on, and taking decision. Dali has made a really nice illustration of this concept, I think. So I appreciate, and even showing me a butterfly, which is kind of illustration of some new and sparking ideas that was brainstormed with this data. So improving decision making is actually the number one use of the data in business today. And people are actually making decisions. And these decisions used not to be automated. But that was before 2023, and now I don't know what is going to happen, because a lot of decision making is going to happen automatically, because we have developed algorithms that can enable this. Let me give you example. Let me say that you want to have a credit at the local bank. And usually you go to the bank, you speak with the person there, and so on and so forth. And a lot of banks has automatized this procedure. They actually looking into your data and automatically deciding whether or not you will get this credit. And this will happen. Then companies, for instance, in banks, they are definitely using software to prevent misuse of credit cards or fraud on credit cards. That's called fraud detection. So it has happened to me that bank has called and said, we are canceling your card because you have used your card in the ATM, bancomat, ATM, where we have noticed it was suspicious activity, and we are canceling protectively your card. Actually, it was a pain problem. It was during the holidays. I was without my credit card, but actually I was kind of grateful, because they prevented that somebody robbed me from this ATM, because they were kind of skimming this ATM with some electronics and gathering the data. So this is the fraud prevention, and for sure they are doing this automatically. Uh, Suspicious transactions, things like that. This is already implemented now for many years. But we will see much more this automated decision making over the years. Is this these two examples with the credit and fraud protection clear as the use case of this automated decision making?
Yes, clear.
Yes, thank you. You know, it's really difficult to do teaching online. Uh, Actually, I am hating being online, because I like to see your faces, whether you are nodding or I need this feedback from you. But still, I'm in Rijeka, you're there. We will manage to do this online. I hope so. But I'm much more scared. I'm much more scared what the other students that are not present right now will do with the content of this course, but that's up to them. I will share the recording, so if they want, they can offline record that. So from my point, I really hate having online lectures. So people, these are my lectures from the last year, and actually people are making decision, and that was the crucial word there, and it was not automated. But I'm not sure, and this is why this is read with 3 question marks. I don't know where we are heading with this. So I expect that much more decision making will be automated, but we will see that. And if we want to have this automated or data driven businesses, we need to have the data that is of really high quality, and this data can give us faster decisions to got competitive advantage. We can reduce uncertainty regarding some decisions, and we can have some valuable insight into critical business questions or critical business aspects. And if we have that on time, then we can make decisions and actions how this can be improved, fixed, or where we can grab some opportunity that showed up. In key business questions are questions that relate to the core areas of business and its goals. What do you need to know? Which data do you need to track and analyze to be able to track how good are you achieving your strategic goals? Focus on the quick key questions that will help you to identify which data you really need to help you answer these questions. And this is the core. Actually, I'm having strategy, and for this strategy, I need to collect data that will automatically track how good I am in realization of my strategical positioning or strategic objectives. So we are starting with strategic objectives for business. Actually, IT is here just the service for the management. IT is technical enable for the management to better track strategic objectives, to make better decisions, to help them interconnect things, and to better understand all the parts that are needed to achieve these goals. And here are some examples. Examples that are actually maybe too simple for you, but they are working fine for my students because I want them to understand also this business perspective. Who are our customers? What do we know about our customers? What are their attitudes? What are their needs? What are their buying patterns? How much money can they spend? And so on. And among these customers, what is their demographics? Do we have a lot of teenage customers, elderly customers, or customers that are between 13 and 40 years old? Who are our most valuable customers? Who is our most valuable customer segment? And what is the lifetime value of our customers? Meaning, how much money can we have from these customers during the whole lifetime that he is buying our products or using our services? And we cannot track all of this. We should identify what is really important to us and focus on the key business questions. key questions or key performance indicator for our strategy. What's really important and what's not. But when we are collecting data for this data-driven decision making, we are collecting integral data that after 2 or 3 years, we can change easily our indicators and track something else. This is one really nice example, which is showing actually how much big data and this advanced analytical technology can be used to improve our business. This is one small fashion retail company that have no other data other than their traditional sales data on the sale point, meaning they have invoices where they have listed their goods and prices. And then for that goods, they know how much they cost it when they acquire them and how much money they are making with this sale. They also have the knowledge of how much the infrastructure is costing, how much their employees are costing, but actually with this data, they have no clue about uh, what should they do on some location to increase sales, because they do not have this data in the information system. And this is how they're starting to think. If we want to increase sales, we would like to know how many people is actually passing, physically passing near our shops. Of these people that are passing near our shops, how many people stop and look in the window and for how long? If they stop and look, how many of these are actually coming into the shop and how many after coming into the shop is actually buying? So, to answer these questions, they actually installed a small discrete device in the shop window that tracked mobile phone signals. It could be some camera that counting people that walked by, and actually they installed automatic counting system of each and every person who walked past the shop. It's something like counting the traffic on the road. I think pretty much they use pretty much the same technology, but it could have been camera as well. And these sensors measured also how many people stopped to look at the window and for how long. And they actually had another sensor that measured, actually triggered when somebody entered the shop. And they had the record who actually bought something. And by combining the data from these sensors in the window and in the store, they actually been able to measure the conversion ratio and test window display to see how this affected the conversion rate. Conversion ratio, conversion in the web shop is meaning that somebody is not only looking into your shop, but is actually doing the payment transaction, actually paying for buying something. And then when they looked into the data, they actually discover that the passengers that they anticipated that will pass on this location were wrongly estimated. Market research company actually gave them bad data. And actually they discovered that the traffic of passengers passing by their shop was insufficient to justify keeping up the store open, which means they closed this location and moved to the another one. Second example, Bacardi. Uh, they actually had a shrinkage across its supply chain, meaning that it's been reported that some of the Bacardi room disappeared in the supply chain, and they wanted to understand why. It was lost during the production, transit, or retail, and they use combination of all kind of sensors and image analytics, and then discovered that actually the majority of the loss of Bacardi was due to the shoplifting. So actually they need to address this problem with retailers, and how they will be able to reduce the shoplifting in the liquor stores. This one is the Google's example. They wanted to assess how useful managers were, and they started, do managers actually make a positive impact on Google? And they started with all kind of performance review, employee surveys, and so on and so forth. And Google is a data company. And then they gather this data, and then they split managers into best and worst performing quartiles, and then actually discovered that good managers had a more positive impact on team productivity, employee happiness, and churn rate. Churn rate is actually how much your employees are leaving your company for the better one. And when they discovered that actually good manager has a really productive team, and they actually wanted to understand what makes a great manager at Google. And then they discovered 8 behaviors that were indicators of the success for managers, that it needs to be good coach and has a clear vision for the team. Obviously, with the team productivity, manager at Google needs to be has to have good leadership skills. Okay. Now, key success. Actually, data culture is a process. It needs to be done in many small steps and iteration, because it's evolution. It's not the revolution. It needs to be done step by step, but some things need to be cut it off and decided at one point on time regarding the technological infrastructure. We cannot change infrastructure slowly. We need to have plan, and from time to time we need to do the frontal change in the technology, underlying technology, and I'm going to talk about this. And you should also consider this data strategy as something that needs to be revised and evolved and needs to be updated on the regular basis. It's need some. This is not a strategy that you put on and then you put it uh, statically for 5 years. Let's say we do have a long-term data strategy, then we need the data strategy for this year, but strategy for this year, we will revise that strategy in 6 months and see if we are doing well or if something needs to be changed. Why? Because this data landscape is changing rapidly, as I have shown you in the last lecture. And data culture means that data is used whenever and wherever possible, at every level of the business, to make improvements, to make better and informed decisions, to better understand your customers, to have more targeted marketing efforts, to have more efficient supply chain, and to discover maybe new revenue opportunities. And if we talk about data culture, then everyone needs to adopt this data culture. First, we look into the data, then we talk. What data do I need to understand and solve this problem? But this is not easy because we have this old school, which was not used to rely that much on the data. But so actually, this data culture requires a shift away from gut-based decisions or from this say or mindset, this is how we have always been doing this, to now we need to look into the data. But data needs to be really of good quality. We need to have really data that is telling the truthful and complete story. We cannot have data culture if data is not in the very best possible condition. And then when the data is in very best possible condition, then we can actually start using this data and build strong data culture. Okay, if we want to implement data culture, communication is always the key in each and every change management. You need to communicate a lot. So leaders and managers should spend a lot of time engaging people to see why this data strategy is important to them, how it reflects, and show them examples in their work how their job will be better or more successful and so on. And change in business can be difficult. And remember that negativity is contagious. Why I'm talking like this? Because when we are implementing a new information IT solution into the company, we need to change either the process or how the people are doing the work. They will feel threatened, they will feel intimidated. We are using this hard vocabulary that is sometimes not understandable, and then people resist. People don't want to actually, are not very open to changes, because changes require that they work much more than if they work it the old way, then it's less energy spent. If they work the new way, it requires them to learn new things and to evolve. And in informatics, we say that this is the most problematic part when we need to deal with the customers or our users, and actually pursue them that our new software is doing a good job for them. So sometimes we can use their pain points to show them how we can improve their working environment or make jobs easier. But sometimes is really a problematic, and if you have some really strong person that is negatively oriented toward your software solution, then you can have a lot of friction in the implementation of this technology. So this I'm telling you now from the perspective of computer science, why do we have a problem with implementation of software in companies. But if we want to implement these changes and do this correctly, then we need to work this closely from management. So this change is not change that is provoked by the technology. This change should be started by the highest management in the company. It's at C-level. Actually, C-level is deciding that this company is now shifted toward the data culture and data-driven decision making. It's not technology. Technology is just enabler here. And if you have this impulse from the management, then you are doing fine. If technology is just seeing all these opportunities and how this is going to be perfect for you, then probably this solution will not be implemented because business side will refuse to take it. So we want to focus on the positive, show good examples and so on. And capturing and monitoring data on everything has this big brother effect. And we are all aware that we are trying to implement this data culture. This is not a quick and easy job. It takes time, goes slowly, actually requires the change in the mindset and so on and so forth. And maybe these curated dashboards that I have shown you, maybe dashboards that have these key performance indicators, statistics of business activity, and so on. And these insights, which are captured in these dashboards, can be actually turned into data storytelling. And data storytelling is something that I have never seen in practice, but I like it because humanity is actually, our civilization was developed on storytelling, and people are like to listen to stories, to story narratives since they were little. And this storytelling is actually trying to deliver these business insights like stories, because then people can relate themselves better with this change. And in data storytelling, actually, we must identify business problem or a challenge. For instance, how would lowering the prices of our ice cream affect our revenue? And let's think that this is some ice cream selling shop or selling business. So first we need some drama. Mm, should we concentrate on upselling extra toppings to existing customers, or being better at spotting faulty freezers, or reduce the amount of stock that gets spoiled, and what should we do? And now middle part should describe attempts, what have they done. So here is possibility to describe analytical processes and which course of action they took, and then at the end they will have the results. And then we have discovered that this solution is working the best, and if we can do this, then we can sell as many ice cream as possible, and so on and so forth. So data storytelling, I have not seen that in practice, but I think that this makes sense, and it's pretty much covered in data visualization, part of information technology. Maybe Anya can reflect to this later. Maybe she is in this business of data storytelling. The designer, Anya. Okay.
The designer is Nina.
Nina, sorry.
Yeah, she's not here
She's
today.
not here today.
Yeah.
Okay. Then we don't have feedback from designer. But this storytelling is something that I would really like to see how this is working in practice. And maybe if Nina is doing that, maybe for Nina, this could be the way what she should do for this course. Are you in contact with her? Nina listened to the recording and we have a suggestion how you should, what you should prepare for this course. And so, how is this ice cream shop actually? Data has shown that location is much better predictor of the sales than change of price because they found that in the hot location ice is going better, in the cold location ice is not selling well. They tried also to, if they lower the price and but if they lower the price of ice cream, they will increase revenues only by 20%. And they also tried if they change the red with blue sign of the shop, but this was a coincidence and showed no results. Actually, data told them that the location is the best predictor, that if they open more shops on the hot location, then they will sell more ice cream. And okay, these insights, and then they use visualization, how this will change, how this will reflect the business, and so on and so forth. And for visualization, you can use all different, but I do have a visualization, whole visualization lecture. But beside these classical charts and graphs, scatter plots and infographics, we can use word clouds. Word cloud is what I have shown you for this language analysis of Facebook teenagers. Remember, boys, girls, female, male, and so on, or some network diagrams. And I think that these dashboards that are coming from business intelligence are really working nice for the management. So when we start with creation, we just need to write the key business question. For that key business question, we need to identify which data provides enough information to answer these key questions, which means which data sets and which KPIs we need to track. So now we have question, we have information in the data and indicator. And this is actually how we are doing business analytics, data-driven business analytics. And with this raw data, we can identify patterns, trends. We can use artificial intelligence to generate some actionable insights. Okay. So now back to data analytics. We have basically 4 types, and these 4 types are actually also how mature you are. First, we need the descriptive analytics, what is happening. We need to analyze the past data. Then we need the diagnostic analytics, what is happening right now and why it is happening. Then we need the predictive analytics, what will happen and what will we see in the near future. This is the prediction of the future business state. And prescriptive is the highest or the most advanced one, is actually providing insights in which decisions or actions do I need to do to go there. So for descriptive, we are usually doing some basic statistical data analysis, what happened, data visualization, and so on. For diagnostics, we need to do some data discovery and understand the causes why something is happening. Maybe we will need to integrate data for many data sources and to do some more advanced algorithms to diagnose where is the problem and what is happening. And we are using the same for predictive analytics. Lot of machine learning, lot of forecasting and predictive modeling, meaning, let's say that we have some time series, we want to predict what will be the next value. The typical time series problem is if we are on the stock market, what will be the next price of the stock? Stocks are really difficult to predict, but this is maybe the best example to understand what it's mean to predict some future amount or future value. And then prescriptive analytics is actually suggestion of the best or optimal response to achieve this outcome. And in this category, we can have a simulation, complex event processing, neural networks, recommendation engines, and so on. And each and every data analytics process first needs to collect the data, then it needs to store this data, then it needs to clean and process this data, and then data needs to be analyzed. Thank you, Dali. Again, really nice visualization of this process. And this process of data collection, transforming, and cleaning is usually called ETL process, extract, transform, and load. And data storage, where the data will be stored after this process, is usually data warehouse or data lake. I'm going to talk about these technologies a lot. So data warehouse is the database, a relational database, which is optimized to analyze, optimized for analytical purposes of data. And data lake is storage technology that can store also unstructured data like images, videos, signal processing, IoT device, sensor data, and all this big data stuff is going into data lake. So data warehouse is technology that is done on the relational databases, and data lake is storing technology that is actually appropriate for this big data that I was talking about. Data cleaning, finding errors, finding duplicates, cleaning inconsistency, reconstructing data, and then oof, I will skip this one because I'm going to talk the whole lecture about this one. So, my congratulations. We have arrived to the end of the second part of the lectures today. What is bad news? bad news is that I have prepared, just a moment, I will stop sharing. Can you see my view of the Moodle?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So in first week we have covered everything. I want to do now this prompt engineering part of hands-on, and from this part I have covered these first two topics, and the three one we need to postpone, which means that we will not arrive here. That might be a good news. So we will start from here because I will not skip to this before I finish with these topics, which means that from today we are running late of this syllabus, and which means that this will not hold anymore. But good news is that we are not going to cover this more programming stuff and more technical stuff. I will skip that, which might be actually a really good news regarding your background. Maybe not for you, Simon, because I think, Simon, that you can go further. If this tempo is going to be too slow for you, we can talk and see how to keep you busy, because maybe this pace is going to be too slow for you, because you are already very well experienced. You are the only one that has experience in these technologies, I think.
No, it's okay.
It's
It's okay.
okay. It's
Mhm.
okay. So if it's too basic, we can adjust. I can adjust that I can give you something that you can actually learn and advance by yourself. So this is on the table. If you feel that something like that is needed, just let me know.
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
for the others, I think that actually this cutting off maybe half of the topics that I planned to cover is maybe a good news. Anya and Anya, what do you think?
Probably.
Probably, yeah, because I promise you, I can teach 10 courses in this material. And I prepared the second part. Actually, it was something that they had in this course the previous year or 2 years before. And then I expected that you have a much higher background in information science or IT, because I saw what they have been doing. They have been doing a lot of programming here. And my opinion is that you don't need to learn programming. You need to understand concepts, what is going on, to have this linkage between management and IT, which I'm really hoping that you will, when you end this course, that you will have this connection established, and this is going to help you. And we will skip these programming parts as much as possible. Maybe some small little intro to Orange, just to give you a flavor what means to train some artificial intelligence model. because at the end of the day you are going to be proud because now you are the one who is in charge of artificial intelligence, and not artificial intelligence going to be in charge of you, which is actually a good news, I think, I hope, so to say. So we can have now a 5-minute break, and my plan today, so actually I need to do some lectures longer because we are losing one date, and my plan is to do prompt engineering tutorial with hands-on that you can start using, let's say ChatGPT or some other solution if you agree. But first we can have a 5-minute break if you want. Actually, I do need a break.
Okay, no problem.
Okay, how much? 10 minutes or 5?
5 is okay, I guess.
Okay. Okay, see you guys in 5.